Every community has stories. This is where ours live. The We Are Grant County app brings together local voices, events, businesses, the podcast, and the magazine all in one place. And we're just getting started. We're looking for storytellers, guests, and sponsors to help shape what's next. Visit
wearegrantcounty.com.
Before we get started, I want to thank Shirt and Stuff Happens in Dry Ridge for sponsoring today's episode. Debbie has created many of the custom shirts and embroidered apparel we use, and I can personally recommend her work. Give her a call, 859-912-9907, or find them on Facebook, Shirt and Stuff Happens.
Today we're joined by Josh, Marlon, and Chris from Ridge Runners, a local running group that's doing much more than organizing runs. They're building friendships, encouraging healthy lifestyles, creating opportunities for runners of all experience levels, and helping bring people together through community events.
We'll talk about how Ridge Runners got started, their vision for the future, the impact running can have on physical and mental health, and some exciting events they have coming up right here in our area.
So whether you're an experienced runner, someone thinking about taking that first step off the couch, walking around the block, or simply someone who loves seeing positive things happening in Grant County, we think you'll enjoy this conversation.
So let's get started. Josh, Marlon, Chris, welcome to the We Are Grant County podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Really excited to be here.
Thank you.
Since there's three of you over there, do you guys mind introducing yourselves?
My name's Joshua Cummins. Kind of born and raised here in Grant County, and I guess we'll talk about our running journeys a little bit later.
I'm Marlon McKenzie, and also born and raised in Grant County on Wrestling Angus Farm here locally in Dry Ridge, and was a teacher in the middle school and still work for Grant County Schools as a driver. I've been doing that for going on 37 years.
And my name is Chris Lynn. I'm actually a transplant from out of state. I grew up in Georgia, but moved here 6 years ago this August. I work in culinary services at the Arc here in town, and proud to say I'm a Grant County resident now.
Welcome.
We won't hold that against you. Some of us are also transplants.
Right.
So how long have each of you, because I know, Josh, you said we'll get into the history of running. So how long have each one of you been running?
We'll let Marlon start.
Well,
He's got the longest running
I'm
journey.
58 years old now, and I started competitively running in middle school in the 7th grade, but I was running long before that. We would do tobacco on the hillside, and Dad would take the tractor over the hill, and Mark, my twin, and I would run down the side of US 25 when it was safe to do so. And we would race the tractor because Dad had to get up the hill, so it took him a little bit. So we got a head start. And then by the time he got over the hill, he got rolling, and it made it really tough. But I think we beat him every single time. So that's where my running started. Was running down that hill.
Yeah. I started running in 6th grade. Actually, I call him coach all the time, but Marlon here was my cross country coach at Grant County, and started running in 6th grade. Don't really know why I started running in 6th grade, but I did. And I remember my first run, he was like, "Yeah, you're going to be a decent runner." So, and then played baseball in college and really got away from running. Baseball was my first love. And so did that. And honestly, my running journey now started during COVID, just being bored at home, and a lot of boredom, a lot of sitting in the house, that kind of thing. And I was preparing for a mule deer and elk hunt out west in the mountains, and was like, well, I'm going to start running. And, started running to prepare for that, and kind of just became addicted to it. And I know that people think that's crazy, but I became addicted to running. And
That's not how my COVID journey went.
Became addicted to it, training for that hunt. And then, I was the guy that said I would never run marathons, that people who run marathons are crazy. And now here we are. And
You drank the
and
Kool-Aid.
now people think I'm crazy. So, yeah.
The marathon Kool-Aid.
And my running journey was a little newer. I always played soccer growing up. I was one of those kids. I'd walk everywhere to class when I'm going to college, seminary. Then I moved here, and I think it was just a couple of years ago. It was right around that time Josh was training for that elk hunt, and he just invited me along. Needed just like, hey, come start working out with me. Let's do this. Let's run. Let's get this stuff done. And then I was on the same journey. I think I did a 5K in February 2024, a half marathon in March of 2024, and then my first marathon in September of 2024. So it was pretty quick. It was a pretty quick escalation. But I discovered for me, running. I mean, I could talk about that a little later maybe, but it was just a way for me to push past my own limits. And the communal aspect really sold it for me too. Just to finding the community and encouragement in that process. So,
Yep.
I would have thought of myself as an athlete growing up because I had an older brother that was ahead of us, and anything he was involved in, which was pretty much sports.
Mhm.
He was in Little League baseball, then Honey League. It was high school basketball. He's a member of the last basketball team that went to the state tournament here in Grant County in 1979. So I was proud of my older brother, but he wasn't a runner at the time. But we picked up running because we had a teacher in the middle school. Sadly, he recently passed away. His name was Dan Baker, and he was my original coach, and had a big influence on me. And we started running competitively, and I had a twin brother, so that made it very competitive to have that twin brother always battling with you.
It's like a built-in competition, right?
Absolutely.
Did it start in the womb? I know.
Well, yeah, I won because I'm the youngest, and I always say I kicked him out of our womb.
There you go.
But we went from being womb mates to college roommates, so we were pretty
wow.
close
Yeah.
growing up. But yeah, I kicked his butt out of there. Said, "Get out of my womb." But it definitely was a competitive thing. But the other sports, I was playing anything and everything that was offered. And I think that there were things that weren't offered. We didn't have soccer when I was growing up. We didn't have football. And I think that's a big reason that I found running with Coach Baker and coming to us and saying, "Hey, fellas, why don't you give this a try?" Well, we gave it a try and we really liked it. And it really gave us an avenue to do something that we could control, that we could be good at, because that's one thing when I became a coach that I preached as part of my philosophy was that with running, you really can be an athlete and be fantastic, and that would be wonderful, but you don't have to be athletic to be a fantastic runner. The work ethic, the time you put in, you can become an amazing runner and maybe not be the most gifted athlete. Now, if you can combine that athleticism, and that's what I saw in Josh when I first met him, as I saw this is an athlete, and if I can get him running, now we're going to really have something. And it turned out that the entire family, I've coached several of Josh's family, and all of them were gifted runners, but they were gifted athletes too. But again, running does not require that you be a gifted natural athlete. You can join running for a number of reasons, and my running reasons have changed over time.
Yeah, sure.
And so that's something that I don't think I would be viewed as an athlete too much anymore if you watch me run down the side of the road or try to hit a softball or shoot basketball. It takes me a little bit to get back to that athleticism that I once remember a long time ago having.
Yeah, I think for me, I wasn't always competition. Athletics was big, and people who know me even now know that I hate losing more than I like winning. So I don't like losing at anything, and church softball, doesn't matter what it is, right? Like, I don't like losing. So I mean, athletics was big for me. And, but as I think, I can kind of skip that part, I when I'm in my younger days, but now that I've gotten older, I think really the competition is within myself, like competing and making myself better. And so I think that you can do that in running. Like, running is really it's between yourself. it's a competition on yourself, like making yourself better. It's a race against the clock, really, and maybe not even anybody else in the race. It's just you trying to beat that time that you have, that PR, whatever, just trying to make yourself healthy or whatever that is. I think running can do that. So the goals have kind of changed, and I'm not necessarily competing against anybody else, just competing to make myself the best version of Josh that I can be. And so I think that's, as you get older, kind of where that running takes you.
And I think for me, I was probably one of those people that Marlon kind of hinted at. Like, I wasn't super athletic. It's funny to say that just because I played soccer all the time. I was moving around a lot. But I just never was competitive growing up. And I think like when people prodded me, I was thinking like, I do not want to do this. Don't force me to do this. But then the older I got, I think it was kind of a flip happened where I began to realize I really don't want to lose. I'm beginning to see I have more in me than I thought I did. And it's more of a mindset. So like where I think just the foundational things I experienced just in good sportsmanship. Like there's a guy that I remember, an old coach that ran this rec department back home. He retired, and I think he's still living, I'm pretty sure. But he always just emphasized good sportsmanship, just that community aspect of sports and how it brings us all together. And I don't know, just like over the course of time with influences like that in my life, I began to realize like, hey, I want to do well. But it's a matter, I think, me wanting that for myself and pushing forward.
Absolutely. So how has running changed your lives? I mean, it's been part of your life for a while.
For sure.
There are so many positive
Eeny,
things
meeny,
that have
miny,
come
moe.
from my running, but there's also things that running has hindered because I have so much passion for it. Sometimes I find myself having to not treat running as an idol, and got to make sure that I'm not emphasizing running more than my family, my wife, especially. Sometimes I don't listen too well because I'm thinking about what's the next training program that'll look like. And I'm working out the training block in my head, and how am I going to get better? And how am I going to do better with these knees the way they're acting at 58 years old? And how am I going to get skinnier? Because that would help. But I do also think that there's so many positive things. And that's one thing about our group and what we're trying to do. Everything that we're doing is with a family focus. And we want to make sure that all of our events that we do, and we'll talk more about those events later, but we want to make sure that they are family friendly. And that's one thing that I was so proud of. Our first race that we did in the fall last year, the Little Rooster Run over in Glencoe, that my wife even came up to me. She goes, "This is really nice. This is a family feeling, just relaxed environment. It doesn't feel overly competitive." Now believe me, there were competitors out there. Josh was out there in the ultra, in the mini Barnyard Ultra, and there were others, and they were competing hard. But there was a place for everyone.
I can echo that since I was there for that. I can echo the feel of that.
I think that I think he's being a little bit maybe humble, or I don't know, but running has like literally saved your life too. Had some medical issues too that running's helped.
Doctor told me that had I not been running back, I had pulmonary embolisms in 2011, and my wife saved my life, is what the doctor said, by not letting me run that day. But if had I run, it could have been a very dangerous thing. But because I was a runner, I survived those embolisms. When I made my way to the hospital and had to go find out what in the world was going on, I had what they call the showering of embolisms. 24 pulmonary embolisms went through my heart before they made it to my lung and basically shut it down. And I still survived that because I was strong. I was probably in the best shape of my adult life. I say my master's life. That's after 40. And running, if you're 40, you make it to masters, and I'm thinking that's a long time ago that I've been in that category. But it is running has many a times been what has helped me. Doc says keep on doing what you're doing because even though I've had to have cardiac stents placed. I've got 3 of them. My twin brother, 6 months later. Genetics is a strong thing, but he says keep on running because that's what's keeping you going. So running for me, is about movement and about and I always say the long run. This life is a great analogy. That I'm just trying to continue running and be strong and be and that's a big focus of mine now is that if I don't run, I can't imagine what I might be like as far as my health. The running keeps me motivated to fight back.
I think for me, like running has changed my life in a couple ways. The community aspect of it is there for sure within our group, but just running in general, when you get around runners, like we were in that ultra marathon that we were talking about, like everybody that was in that group, yeah, we were competitive, but we were all cheering each other on at the same time. And running is a unique sport in that way that you're competing, but you're also you're cheering other runners on and excited for the success they're having. So it's a really kind of weird dynamic, but an interesting and cool dynamic as well. And then I think the other part that is cool about running is like for me, I have 3 daughters, and my 5-year-old right now, she calls every race that she's going to run in a marathon. But I'm also teaching them what it looks like to do something really difficult and really hard, and the consistency of running, the consistency of getting out the door and getting those miles in every single day and just being consistent. That's really the key to running, is consistency more than anything else. He taught me that a long time ago. I didn't listen in the summers because I was playing baseball. I didn't run at all in the summers, but
I can tell.
But consistency is key. And I think teaching my children that, like, the marathon's really hard. When you get to mile 20 and you got 6 miles left, it comes down to the mind and the mindset and the training that you put in. But it's really hard. But I'm showing them, like, you can do hard things if you want to do it. So I think that's part of the running that's big too.
Yeah, I'm lucky that I get to teach that to my grandchildren. My 3 grandchildren have all been involved in our events, and it's exciting. I get to run with my grandchildren, and so that is another big motivation, and how it's a positive thing for our family because they are excited to be in these races, and they have a great time, and we're all there together. And that's one thing I like about the events that we're doing, is it brings us together in that way.
And I think for me, I found myself with running, it really helped get me back on track, so to speak, just because a couple of years ago, I found myself in a really rough spot. And it was just getting out there, just consistently running. And I remember just my very first 5-mile run.
I remember that.
Like, I was very much still like learning how to run, like do it correctly. And I remember I was running with Josh that run, and I'm like, how far are we going to go today? I don't know. And I kept asking that.
I knew how far we were going. I just didn't tell him.
And I was starting to panic because I never ran that far before. And I remember, like, reached like 4.8 miles. Like, the car was like over here. We were right here, like looking around. I collapsed on the ground thinking, like, I can't do it. And he's like, dude, the car's right there. We get back up, finish the run. And I just remember that euphoria, I guess, of just like, I just did something I've never done before. Like, I was crying and everything. I was a mess. But it was really cool just because that was just a thing. Like, I was beginning to push past limits that I had never experienced before. And I was beginning to take on things I never taken on before. Like, it really has been a journey of just my mindset changing over time. I guess, just in from those early days where Josh was just speaking so much into me when we were running together, just like, dude, you can do this. Dude, you can do this. Like, and once I got involved with the Ridge Runners, like with Marlon and a few of the other guys that were involved in the group, the closer we've gotten, the more they're saying, dude, you can do this. Dude, you can do this. And it's just been a game changer for me. And I think the second thing I realized, and it's a hard lesson I learned last year, my second attempted marathon, I remember I'd got a tibia stress fracture. I was sidelined like 3 weeks before the race. And I was crushed. But it made me also realize, kind of like Marlon had hinted a little bit when he was saying like, hey, try not to make running an idol. I was realizing I made it an idol myself. And it helped put it in the right perspective for me. That running is an amazing tool, an amazing investment to put into yourself and to others. Yeah, and it's just been a cool journey.
Yeah, I think that the other thing that running does is the mental toughness aspect of it. Nobody like starts running like, yay, this is so, it is a mental grind, but that makes you tougher overall as a human being too, and as a person. So.
I find that I have some of my most creative thoughts when I'm out on a long run. I don't know if that's the pain talking or what it is, but I will have so much time to create and think and just have that, those many minutes of just uninterrupted time. And I love it being out in nature. I mean, I want to be outside on these runs as much as possible.
Yeah.
We always jokingly, Josh says he does not.
I will not run on a treadmill.
He won't run on a treadmill. I call it the dreadmill.
Yeah.
But it's a tool as well that I will use when it's necessary. But being outside and enjoying nature and having that time, running can just bring stress relief. It brings,
it's just great being outside.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then of course the camaraderie that we have, even if we're not going to be running the same pace, that's what we do. Our group says any pace, any distance, welcome. We do focus, we are a men's group and we do focus on that because we want to have that as part of our goal is to mentor, and make each other better men, as we run. And we don't want any distractions and we want to focus on our goals and what our group's about. And, but we have a great time. And even though, like I said, Josh was running in the opposite direction at a 7:25 per mile, goal marathon pace. And I was surviving, the 18th, 19th or 20th mile it was. We ran 20 on Saturday and I was surviving, but, that having them pass by just to see them was encouraging and gave me a little boost and got me back. I didn't know if I was going to make it back from Webb Park and Williamstown back to the Williamstown Baptist Church parking lot. When I finished my 20 miles, walking back was a difficult task for me that day, but I didn't because I knew they were there waiting.
So exactly what is Ridge Runners and how did the group get started?
Well, Ridge Runners is a Christian men's running group. And so we have Ridge Runners, the running group itself, but then we also have Ridge Runners Racing, which is a nonprofit Christian men's basically we host races and events. And so there's kind of two different entities there. There's the men's Christian running group, and then there's the Christian nonprofit racing and events kind of group that we started. And so we can talk more about that, but that's kind of the two different entities that we're involved in.
We started just getting together. I had been in many previously named groups. Our original name was the Flying Jays because everybody in the group had a J name. There was Justin and Joe and Jonathan, and my middle name was John. And then we started having people with nicknames with J's. But we outgrew that group, and we were looking for something that we could, just change. And of course, Josh comes along, another J name. And I thought, well, maybe it's meant to be. But we just kind of threw out the name Ridge Runners. It's got a lot of meanings. We have one of our members, Jason, another J, who is out on the Appalachian Trail a lot. And, people that help him and that are out there and supplying people are called Ridge Runners. And that was kind of a fitting name. And of course, Dry Ridge, of course, is the main reason for that name. And it's just something that everybody liked. And we went with it. And then sitting around having a cup of coffee, we usually were meeting at Dunkin', which has been a great sponsor for us. We were sitting there and they were just talking about, what else could we do? And Josh been wanting to do an ultra. He'd been talking about, I want to do an ultra. And I said, well, maybe we just should do an ultra, have one. And he was thinking, yeah, we can do that. And so it just kind of grew. from that we created the Ridge Runners Racing. Took the long road. We started off last year as an LLC, but we are now officially Ridge Runners Racing Inc. And received our tax exempt status from the federal government. And so we had a lot of learning to do. This is a new venture for us. We're just a year old, so we're just a baby as a company. But we're using that to establish these events and hopefully attract more people.
Yeah, but there's nobody that puts a better event on than this guy right here when it comes to racing. Like, at Grant County Cross Country, when I was growing up, our meet in Grant County was the best meet in the entire state when we had it at Grant County Park. And I don't know if anybody had ever been there before, but that meet was humongous, and it was all because of him, really. And he's going to say it wasn't. It was because of him.
It was a lot of
and
people,
all the
a lot
effort
of
he put
parents.
into it. And so our races, when we host a race, we do it to the best of our ability to make it the best race that we can.
Sure.
And it's a community. It's all of us joining together. It's people in the community joining together. But we're trying to make the events that we host the best that we possibly can. And
we're runners too, so we want
a good
race
event
to be a good event because
sure.
we want it to be a good event as we go to other races. And then sometimes you have to go to races that maybe weren't so effective to see that. I won't call anybody out, but Jason, who I mentioned earlier, and I went to a trail race, and by the time I got around on the second loop, it was like a 4-lap course to get to the marathon distance. And I came through in the second loop, and of course I'm running a much slower pace, and there was nothing left at the aid stations, and there was absolutely nothing left at the end of the race. The tables were empty.
Did they pack up before you got there? They were taking down the tape.
They had already started deflating the finish line arch before I made it. And I was coming up through there. That was sad. No, I'm exaggerating a little bit about that, but there was just the one guy sitting at the arch, the single. I think he's like the one-man band type guy. He runs these races all by himself. Well, that's not the way that I thought that we could do a good job. So I think that's a big reason that the running group, became the racing entity. And it takes a lot of people to be successful in these types of events. And we're still just new at it. But I think that being a runner has helped. I did get that comment on one person on our Ridge Run Racing email that we have, that in regards to our races, she said, I can tell when a runner is hosting a race. And that was a big compliment.
Yeah.
And I thought, we got a bunch of runners hosting this race, and every one of us has input, and everyone has the things that they think need to be there. And I sometimes might be accused of overkill. I can remember having a conversation about the Little Rooster, and I felt we needed to have a wagon stage, and we needed to have mums and flowers and decorations and banners and all this stuff. And then, that's just too much work. And then when it was all over, the one who said that said, wow, this was really good. And of course, he was the one that loaned us the wagon. So I appreciated him for that. But it turned out to be a big part of the entire event is the runners that especially when they clocked out of the Barnyard Ultra, they had to go over there and get their picture for the wall of shame that we created for that race. But yeah, it's been a pleasure working with these guys, but it takes a whole bunch of people. So that's not just being modest, that's being truthful, that I didn't do all those things by myself, and I don't do these things by myself. I could not do it by myself.
We know that, but you definitely put a lot of work into it. So,
So as far as Ridge Runners, the running group part of it, is it open for new people to join? And if so, who can join? How do they join?
Take that, Josh. Chris.
Well, I mean, it's like anyone can really join at any point. It is primarily a men's running group. So we do offer that. It's kind of like a chance for men to be able to invest in one another and to build that kind of community, like something that I've realized over the years is just like good, solid community between fellow men it's hard to come by. Like if you're really looking for something solid. honestly, I think just because in our society, it's just frowned upon, I guess, to be open, to be in community with others and to kind of leave yourself kind of open and exposed a little bit. But I've discovered in those moments, like real challenging transformation can happen in a person's life. But also too, like, the part I'm not aware of, I guess Marla can actually attest to that, would be, I guess, what it would take to actually officially join the organization.
Yeah, I mean, we host men's running. We host runs every single week together. So you can find Ridge Runners on social media, Facebook and Instagram. We post a running schedule for the month. Every Saturday we have a group run together at 8 a.m. that meets somewhere here in Grant County, and any pace, any distance is welcome. And basically, we say to be a part of the group, if you come once, twice, whatever, now you're a part of the group.
We'd ask that it'd be 18-year-olds that are coming. If they're coming alone, they have to be 18. But if a father wants to bring his son, that's certainly acceptable, not a problem. But we don't. We want to make sure that it's adult men group, so that we have an age group that's appropriate for the conversations we're going to have. So no, but it's our conversations are all clean. Right.
Here I was like, they don't want to deal with children because they're running long distances. Oh, it's the conversation.
Just the liability of having them running. I don't want to push that on people that
we do run all across the county, and so you never know where we're going to meet a car or something. So
or
if you see us in Grant County, you don't have to freak out. I know you've maybe never seen a runner on the side of a certain road or not, but just get over to the far left of your lane and we'll be all right. And but yeah, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Instagram. We post a men's running schedule. Any pace, any distance, welcome. We're not the fastest people in the world. There's a lot faster runners in the world, and we typically run those runs together, unless we're in a training block and we have something we have to do. But we're typically running together and just enjoying an easy run together on Saturdays.
And I've always said I'm willing to run whatever pace I'm capable of, and most of the time I'll bring up the rear and run with anybody that's, even if you're walk run, I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll do whatever it is just to be out there. We want people to get started where they're at, and just want to watch and help them improve. So that's another goal that we do have, is we hope that the people that do decide to join, and I'll be running down the street and we meet somebody that's running, and I'll tell them about our group and invite them. And some of those have entered our races already, and have run with us recently, which is neat. I'm not shy about inviting people.
You're not shy about too much.
to doing that. But
anybody's welcome at those any man that wants to come and start running, or you're a seasoned runner, it doesn't matter. You're welcome to join us for those group runs.
But I guess also too, side note, like, I know there's been, for all those ladies out there that like are craving this kind of community as well, like definitely that's open to any lady. If they want to start a group side by side with us and have a women's group to run, go for it. This is our challenge and encouragement to any ladies out there that want that same kind of community with each other. Hey, go for it.
Start a women's running group.
Yeah, start a women's running group.
And of course, our races are open to both men, women, children, all ages. We're not discriminating in that way. We're just keeping our group, our focus, so that we can be, I kind of think, an accountability group for one another, so that we're doing the things that we think men should be doing in the community and in our families, and being, having that group to be able to bounce ideas off of. And, for somebody to say, hey, like before coming to this podcast, one of the members said, don't talk too much. Make sure you, so I've struggled with that sometimes, because I have so much history with running, but, so I'm really glad that these guys are with me today, and, with all the other gentlemen that are with our group. We've got a wide range of runners. We've got guys in their 20s, guys that are part of our group that do most of their runs. They live near Louisville. One who's just recently joined us, but he's been at several events with us. We've got people that can't be with us every week, but they come in, once every month or two, but they're Ridge Runners. So it's just something that we're blessed to be a part of.
So, and you've talked about how Ridge Runners is basically become like friendships and building relationships and things like that. So, and you've touched a little bit on how running has also benefited physical health.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about how when you're running, your mind can be clear and things like that. So there would be like what would be the mental health benefits? Because you also talk about how you have to like get the mind right to be able to get to that marathon finished. So, again, we touched a little bit on physical health. Could we touch a little bit more on mental health and the benefits of running for that?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously mental health is a big discussion in our culture and world right now, and the stigma and trying to get over all that different conversations are happening. But for running, I think a lot of running is that mental fortitude and that, and so I think running can be most powerful on your mind, and whether that's getting out for the first, you haven't ran in a long time and getting 1 mile, and that may take all the mental fortitude you got today. And then, but as you continue to progress, like running and that consistency is going to build up that mental fortitude and that mental strength and that. But once again, we can't separate physical health and mental health totally from each other. Like
Right.
your body is intertwined. And so when you get to running, you're getting that dopamine, you're getting all of those type things as well, which is going to help your mental health. And so you're getting that stress relief. You're getting that time with your own thoughts just to process through. Like if you're not listening to music, you're just running. That's a lot of time just to process what's going on in your mind and in your heart and in your life. And so I think running is huge for mental health. I mean, people that, I know people like when they're not running, their mental health struggles, but when they are running that they're stronger because of that stress relief, because of that thought process, because of the mental fortitude and all the things that go along with it. I mean, if you talk to any physician or anybody like that, who's, if you're dealing with depression, anxiety, anything like that, one of the best things you can do is get to working out, do that physical exercise is going to help your mental health incredibly. And so running is critical for that, or running can really be critical for that and help that. So,
Yeah, I think there's scientific studies showing, just stepping outside and moving your
Correct.
body in any sort of way
Yep.
creates all of those good chemicals.
Yeah.
And so in your
And
brain.
sunlight, I mean, you think about sunlight, just being out in the sun, is great for your mental health too. So you combine all those different things, and I think it's a great thing for your mental health.
Which
Yeah.
it's why it's so funny for those of us who have been in therapy and, you talk to your counselor and they're like, you really should go out. It's like, no, I don't want to. It's one of those, like you said, that mental barrier.
Yeah.
But, and then you go out and you're like, dang it, they were right.
They were right. That's
They
awesome.
were right all along. So
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
That, I mean, I think it's helped me, with my mindset and mental fortitude and stress and processing. So,
Yeah.
The mental aspect of running becomes even more important as you age. And for me, I spend a lot of time. I think I've really strengthened my fortitude with running as the years have gone on. Now I'm not as fast, but I was telling the guys on Saturday when I was finishing up my run, I may be slow, but I go.
Well,
And
I
that's-
looked at him on Saturday when he was finished, and we had, we have a marathon coming up in, in 11 days, 12 days. So, we're in a long run period on Saturday. So we each of us had 20 miles. On Saturday.
And we watched him finish his.
When he
20.
finished, I had told Chris before that. I had already told him, like,
I think
Coach-
we've got a connection issue on my
Coach may not be the fastest guy, but he's the strongest guy in our group mentally. And so it's a big deal.
Right. It meant a lot to me when they said that. I was like, I didn't really, I don't feel like that, but I do know that I've gotten stronger, at least for myself, to where I can compete and compare myself to these guys and the type of strength that they're going to eventually have at my age. They're way ahead of the game. I wasn't running and training for marathons at their age. I didn't start until I was in the master's age. I mean, I ran one marathon as a young runner, and it was just didn't train, jumped in it. And when I got passed at mile 20 by that 70-year-old woman, which is true, and she's like, "Are you okay, honey?" And I was like, no, but I'm getting beat by an old woman. But of course, now I look at that and that doesn't seem that old to me now. It did then. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's, I've been on the long run for a long time. So, but yeah, it's really, it definitely is a mental thing for a lot of the people. I talk to, they would always make that joke. Well, the only time you'll see me running is if I'm running from, Bigfoot or a cop or something like that,
The bears chasing
them, all these different things that they say. But I think that they too could end up really enjoying the activity if they would not fall into the biggest, I think, mistake that a lot of people make about running is that you have to go fast.
Yeah, correct.
You don't. You don't have to go fast all the time. You go where you go at your pace, and you figure out what running is to you. It's different for all of us. I ran fast once. I'm probably not going to be running anywhere near the paces I've run. I'm not giving on getting faster again, giving up on that, but I am going to say I'm never going to be setting, personal best in short distances for sure. I still kind of have this glimmer of hope that I might be able to get my marathon time back down somewhere if I can figure out how to physically catch up with my brain.
Keep your body,
keep my body working.
Yeah,
but
gotta replace. Gets the Tin Man. Get the oil out.
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah,
oil those gears.
Chris is a testimony to what running can do mentally too. Like he's gotten incredibly strong over the last couple of years.
I've watched his confidence grow, and I've continued to tell him big things are coming in his running as he stays with it. And I'm hoping we're hoping that some of the group have been talking about the number of personal bests that we think that we're going to see coming in our marathon race coming up.
Yeah,
we'll be traveling to Duluth, Minnesota for the 50th anniversary of Grandma's Marathon, which that's going to take place on June 20th, and it's going to be exciting.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
Time to, to have that camaraderie and share and have a good time, but then, have that focused goal that we're all going for. Some are going for, we have one that we think that could break the 3-hour mark.
Oh, he's going to.
We're pretty confident that that's going to happen. He's just been.
He's going to qualify for Boston.
That's Jacob Panzer. He's been really, really running fantastic here. We talked about, I think that Josh is set up for a personal best, and Chris most certainly is the one that we really think if Chris just has that mental focus that day, that's the thing. We want to make sure, because the physical tools are there, the confidence and then just being able to hold that for the distance.
Yeah.
He's got what it takes to do that. We feel like he's going to set a personal best too. The rest of the group, this is the group has been talking about those guys in Group ER. We think, we're not probably there with this training block, but we'll make our comeback.
But I think something else too, just kind of where I'm on the topic of mental toughness and I guess that mental benefit. Like they were talking about just my journey and about how that's been a game changer for me. Like something I want to just touch on briefly is the whole concept of endurance. Like being able to, because Josh will tell you, the very first couple runs I did, I couldn't run half a mile. Like it was pretty bad. But like over the course of time and just sticking with it, I think it's not just mentally, but holistically in every sort of way. It's all connected in some way, like spiritually, relationally, mentally, physically. It's all connected. And I realized just if I can just endure through the pain that comes. And it's not even just, and it's a good life lesson. Like, and life's hard. But if you realizing, like, if you endure through the pain, if you endure through the trial that you're facing, like if you push through it, know there's something good on the other side. Like these long runs that I've been doing, like these marathons we've attempted, just like there's something good waiting on the other end if you can just push through. And like, really for me, like just mentally, I've always struggled like with myself, really. Is just like, hey, believing like, hey, you can endure through this. You can push past your limits. Like you're able to do this. That's just something I guess we'd want to encourage anybody that listens to this or watches this or whatever. Like it's possible. Completely possible.
For sure.
So
like Chris said, that first 5 mile run, he collapsed in Grant County Park and now he's running marathons, like, and I think there's this, when you begin running, like there's these, you feel good for about 5 minutes, and the next 5 minutes you want to quit, and then you feel good again, and then you want to quit again. When you get in a marathon, it's like, and there is this mental fortitude in that, and it's a beautiful thing. So,
and it can carry over so much into the other things that you have to deal with in your life.
Correct.
To have that experience, running a marathon, running an ultra marathon, as some have done, running these distances really can give you those skills. And, I feel like
it does, for sure.
You gain something that you can use, and you may not really, like, as you're making the decision during a tragedy or something in your life, that I'm sitting here thinking, oh yeah, because of running, I was it. But you go back later and you realize, because I did that, that enabled me to endure this as well.
I agree.
Yeah.
When I need custom apparel for No Blink Pictures or We Are Grant County, I trust Debbie at Shirt and Stuff Happens. From embroidered polos and hats to custom t-shirts, banners, signs, and personalized gifts, Debbie helps bring ideas to life with quality craftsmanship and attention to detail. Whether you're outfitting a business, a sports team, organization, family reunion, or special event, Shirt and Stuff Happens has you covered. Give Debbie a call at 859-912-9907 or send her an email at shirthappensky@gmail.com. And of course, you can always find Shirt and Stuff Happens on Facebook. What is your vision for running in Grant County itself? And what would success maybe 5 years down the road look like?
For Ridge Runners, I think, the success looks like building that men's group, but also for Ridge Runners Racing, it looks like, having multiple good quality events provided for the community each and every year. We hope to get to 3 or 4 events. Right now we're at 2. And we have one coming up, and this will be the first year for the Big Rex Bottle Rocket 5K in Dry Ridge. But we want to have multiple quality events offered, and we hope that we know they're going to grow as people enter them and they see the quality of the events. They'll continue to grow, but we really just want to host great events for our community. Yeah.
So speaking of events, what events do you have coming up?
Well, as he just mentioned, the upcoming event Saturday, July 4th, Independence Day, 250th celebration of our nation. We have Big Rex's Bottle Rocket 5K and the Little Rex Kids Fun Run. We are excited to have our first title sponsor, and that is the Big Rex Fireworks Tent. Most people call him Little Rex, Rex Benson, who is the owner of that business, and he's a friend of mine that I got to teach alongside after retirement, and came back and did some long-term subbing, and he was in the classroom still at that time. Now he's a counselor at the Grant County Middle School, and just he and his wife believe in giving back to the community, and so they came on board and have been a major support by taking on the title sponsorship, which required, some input of funding, and the amount of things that he's got planned to give away for this race. Every kid entry gets a free pack of sparklers. Every adult entry gets a pack of I think they're neon missile bottle rockets. That
What about the little parachute guys? I love those.
with the voucher to go to the tent. So we wanted to help him. So, we asked the people to give him a voucher. They can take that to the tent and get the adult firework. But he's also given away a 100-pound firework called the Godfather.
Yeah, he's giving that away.
He's going to be giving that, and the only, registrant, if you register with that, you have a chance to win that. That'll be given away at the end of the awards ceremony. He's offering, there'll be colored fireworks and fireworks for the start and finish line. So just all the many things he's been willing to contribute. We're thankful for the Big Rex's fireworks and their contributions to our race. We also have coming up in October the second version of Little Rooster Run. That's going to be Friday, October 16th in Glencoe at the Gallatin County Fairgrounds. We have at that race, we have a kids fun run, which is a cross country style run. We have a 5K trail race. And then we have our main event, which is the mini Barnyard Ultra, which is a 2.083 mile loop that you go on and on and on for as long as you can. You finish it in a half an hour. You can continue. If you get back in the corral to start the next one before that time ends, you can go until the last runner is standing. Last year, it took 58 miles to declare a winner. Started at 8 in the evening and was 10 o'clock in the morning.
The next day,
runner was still on the course, finishing the last laps to continue
yard.
What they call yards in ultra running. And then we have some other things
ideas
that we're working on.
Yeah. But the Big Rex's Bottle Rocket, the kids run is a 0.76 mile for when our country started. It's a 0.76 mile course that starts at 8:30 right from the city building in Dry Ridge and ends in Piddle Park. And then the 5K starts at 9, starts right there from the city building, right Race Street, and goes up around the middle school, comes back, ends in Piddle Park again. And then afterwards, we have a concert by Taylor Henry. We have vendors and different things, and just going to have a great day together, celebrating 250 years and then celebrating all the finishers of each race. So we're looking forward to that event. It's the first year for that one.
I know our son and his friend, I know that we've signed them up for the Big Rex, and they ran the Rooster Run last year. I'm sure they'll do it again this year. They're excited and already looking forward to it. They keep seeing the signs. They're like, when is that? When is that? Is it time yet?
Yeah, my little girl's already, she's done 2 training runs. She's 5, and she's done 2 training runs out at our house because she's ready for her next marathon, even though it's just a kid's fun run. But
well, I'm excited about the people like Tristan and Dennis who have been in our events, all of our events so far. That's what we're hoping for, is to see, the people that come back to our events and the children. And we want the children to be excited and bring their parents and get them out there actually running or walking the course.
I was like,
I'll get you there.
Hold on a minute.
So I don't know. We do have a generous time to complete that race. So feel free to enter that race if you're a walker. We have a great group of ladies that walk that have been in our event last year that have already signed up for the Little Rooster. So ladies, if you're out there listening, I haven't seen you sign up for the Bottle Rocket yet. So we would love to have you all join us for that because it's a family event, and we want to extend our family to include all these people that will continue to come back. And that's what we're hoping for, is that we'll get patrons that are, we're going to a Ridge Runners race. And then they'll have opportunity throughout the year to do that as we add races to our calendar.
And one of the big perks too is if you add a race to your calendar, then it makes you motivated to train a little bit. So if you go ahead and sign up for the 5K in October, or the 5K, July, it's getting kind of close to get a lot of training in. But if you go ahead and sign up for that race in October, now you got a motivator to get racing and to get training and running and. Right. And I think that could be big too.
Come walk the Bottle Rocket and then prepare to run the Little Rooster.
Yeah.
if you're not ready to run the bottle rocket.
Yeah.
And then
I am not.
The motivation can be kind of difficult
Yes,
unless you
correct.
have that actual, like, that was always my issue. Like playing soccer, I was like, yeah, those short distances, right? I've got a goal right there. The longer distance, I was like, just don't, I don't think I had anybody to encourage that type of
Yeah.
like, well, set those goals. I was like, if you're not setting, so I have problems setting the goals for myself. Like, and so sometimes I think that could be a benefit of, your group too, right? So it's not just yourself. You don't have to always depend on yourself
Yeah.
to make those goals. You also have a community to help
Oh yeah,
you.
if somebody's
with
not there on a
those.
Saturday morning run, we're letting
Calling
them know
them up?
about it.
You calling them up?
Yeah.
Run by their house.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
yeah.
And then
We have
knocking on
done
the
that.
door.
We've run by houses and yelled their names.
For sure.
Why aren't you out here?
Start knocking all the windows and the doors.
It
Like,
is a perk to run in with a group. Is definitely that they can help keep you motivated.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, you got that person that that's depending on you to be there, and that they're getting up too. So like, oh, okay, I know they're getting up now too. But now some of them may be getting up there and being a few minutes late. We won't point them
Yeah.
out.
I mean, that can
Right.
make all the
But-
difference in the world, right? Just
But
having that somebody feeling that
That accountability.
accountability
sure.
and depending on you. So
So you mentioned that you started as an LLC and now you're nonprofit. Can you tell us a little bit about how you work with other community programs and how you support community initiatives?
Yes. So I think we always, when we started, the purpose was to be a nonprofit, and we just had to modify recently. But our goal is to support and to give back to our community, and so especially with running, as kind of a focus. But it's not just running groups. We have ideas on how we're going to support the community in the future, but. So right now, with our first race last October, all the funds that were raised and generated with that race went back to our local elementary running groups. So every elementary school here in Grant County has a running group, and they train with the kids, and then they take them to the Derby Dash. It was their 5K, and we donated all the funds back to those running groups. So every dollar that was raised at that last race went to go back to them. And it was awesome to see like our logo on the back of some of their shirts this last session, because we sponsored them, and it was really cool to see that. And so that's really where the funds are going right now, but we have other ideas of where they'll go in the future. We can talk about that, but we want to support our local elementary schools and kids running.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we're supporting fitness for all kids. And so some of the other thoughts that we have, no matter where a kid is and what their situation, we've discussed potentially, and if you're out there and you're listening and you are part of that organization, we were interested in helping support Special Olympics activities for the running. I know there's track and field in Special Olympics, and there's cost to get those things done. So we'd like to support that. Another idea, these are just, these are not things that we've done yet, but we're thinking about doing is there's one called Envision Blind Sports. My grandson is legally blind, and that was one of the reasons that I thought that would be a great endeavor, but there are other people with impairments. So we want to make sure that anyone that wants to use running and other activities, we want to try to see if we can't make sure that every child has an opportunity to be supported in their goal for fitness. So there's a couple ideas there, but we have, many other things we'll discuss. We have a board of directors that we use that creates and talks about and makes the decisions for Ridge Runners Racing Inc., which we meet monthly, have our regular board meetings, and we try to make sure that everything that we're doing is generating funds, and those funds are going to be allocated into things that we want to see promoted and help towards, youth fitness. And we also want to expand to get adults involved as well, and start maybe reaching some of the funds out for purposes like that for people who maybe want to be involved but don't have the know-how or the means. So there's other things that we're in discussions about, but I don't want to say any of those things are a done deal. But if you're out there and you have something that you think that would be a fit for our group, reach out to us. We'll certainly consider it.
Cool. Because I guess I believe I knew that you guys supported the elementary schools. And I like the fact that you want to reach out to Special Olympics, Fitness for Life around Grant County. So the 5K.
Yeah.
You've done some work with them, support and things like that.
Yeah, we help promote. We promoted the Derby Dash on our social media pages and those things like that too.
So
And they've done likewise. They've been
we've
supportive of our,
support each other back and forth.
because we both have a similar focus.
agenda, yeah. So if somebody wanted to start running today or tomorrow, not me, just someone,
We're not there yet.
where should they begin, or what might be some first steps?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak to that a little bit. I think just getting out the door and getting moving is the key. But I think people have a misconception when it comes to running. Like Coach said earlier, people think you got to go out and try to beat your fastest time every single day. And that's really not the goal.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to get moving. So I would just start with a run walk. 2 minutes running, 4 minutes walking. If you've never ran before, 2-minute jog, then a 4-minute walk, then a 2-minute jog, then a 4-minute walk, and just get started doing a run walk method. When we've been through injuries, we had to do run walk method ourselves. It's humbling, but it's also a place to start and get that fitness going. So run walk until you build that fitness and endurance up, and then you can move to just a straight run. And then you can start working in some other things as you get further along in the journey. But I think the problem oftentimes with people when it comes to running is, all right, I ran 3 miles yesterday at this pace. All right, the next day I'm going to run 3 miles at 5 seconds faster.
Yeah.
The next day that's really not the way it works. It's similar to lifting weights in the gym. This is the best way that I can put it. If you lifted weights and you tried to max out on your bench press every single day, that would not work. You lift lighter, but do more reps and build that strength. But then you may go max once a week or once a month or whatever. So when it comes to running, a lot of your running needs to be done at a slower pace. And there's no problem with that. Like, in order to run faster, you have to run more miles slower. And
sounds like it contradicts,
but it doesn't. If you think about weightlifting, I'm going to go into the gym today and I'm going to bench press 3 sets of 10 reps at a lower weight. I'm not going in and maxing out every day. And that's the problem people have with running a lot of times, is they try to max out and go as fast as they can, and that really doesn't work.
And that can
lead to
injury or burnout.
It can lead to injury. It doesn't let your muscles in your body recover well. All those different things, and it's actually counterproductive to do that. So just start somewhere, run, walk, and then build up to a run, and then you can work in speed days and long days and different things as you progress. But just start with a run, walk, and build that forward.
Yeah, too many people miss one of the most important aspects of running, and that is recovery.
Yeah.
It's what you do on your rest day, which is you really don't need to be doing a whole lot, just real light, just staying active, take a walk, take the dog a little longer than you might have on the previous day. I know I need to do better at that, but, go take a walk with the family, do something like that, go for a bicycle ride, some cross training. But just don't forget how important recovery is, because you have to rebuild up what you've torn down as you continue in your training program. So it's very, somebody might say, well, I can't even think about walk running, you might just start with walking. Can you walk
Correct.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
Go walk 30 minutes and do that 4 times a week, 4 or 5 days a week. You need to take the rest.
Yeah.
Especially after your hard sessions. Too many people and that's what their mistake is. They go hard, 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 and they wonder why they're worn out and they can't do anything.
No
You
motivation to
have
do
to have
it
hard,
next,
easy. There's medium days sometimes, but you have to have that recovery day, especially, before and after those really big efforts that you're going to put in. So if that big effort for you is that day that you're going to try to do 20 minutes of run walking, and the day before you need to rest, and the day after you need to rest, do something,
Lighter.
just light, just to stay active.
I think, for example, Chris went through an injury and he had to run walk, and that was a slow process to build back up. I went through an injury and had to run walk, and it was a slow process to build back up, but it wasn't pointless. Like that run walk, that period helped us slowly progress back into running to where we didn't get injured again. And if you're just starting out, you have to slowly progress. This is it is a journey to get into running. And so don't rush it. It's the consistency that's key. And that consistency will build and help you along the way. But once you get into training, like a typical training week for us looks like, an easy run on Mondays, a speed day on Tuesdays, which is our hardest day of the week. And then Wednesdays, no running at all. Typically we do a cross training or a kettlebell workout or something like that. And then Thursdays, easy run. Friday, easy run. Saturday, long run. Sunday, short, easy run. You have to do those easy recovery days in order to recover and rest and those things.
And each of us are different. And so for somebody that recovery may not be an easy run. It might be you want to do a quick, trip around town on your bicycle. And do some cross training, mix it in. So there are all kinds of ways to do that, and everybody there are training programs that you can access in today's world so quickly and easily. But you need to also be aware of yourself and your body and do what works best for you, and just be conscious of building in that recovery. So that you can live to run another day.
I guess just
Chris, a good example. Go ahead.
Yeah, just we're going on like Josh has said about a journey, it being a journey. Patience is key. Something everybody in our culture struggles with, or more often than not. Like just know it's not going to happen instantly. You're not going to get that result you want instantly. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. There are some days you're going to get frustrated. Like there's some days I'm running and I'm like, why am I not where I'm supposed to be? But then I realize it's just part of the journey.
Yeah.
You just take it one day at a time, 1 mile at a time, one step at a time. Once you get to that mindset, then it gets a little bit easier. So
I think that's what makes running different is it's running. The consistency is the key to running. It's not athletic ability. It's not talent necessarily. It's just that consistency. And the longer you are at being consistent, the better runner you're going to be. Right. And so that's where I would start is just get out the door and become consistent in it.
So if you had one word to describe Ridge Runners, what might that be?
I would just say a community.
Yeah.
That'd be my word. From our races to our men's group that runs, it's community.
Yeah.
And then for all three of you, what would be maybe the most favorite race you've ever run?
So I think, I have different categories of runs here.
But mine definitely is the hardest thing I've ever done in running. And I've run 25, 6, 7, I've lost count. I've run, over 25 marathons. I think I'm coming on 27 for this one, I believe. But the hardest one I ran was a half marathon trail race called the Rugged Red, which is in the Red River Gorge, right there off the Slade exit. And the first time that I ran that race, it had rained and rained and rained and rained. It was flooded to the point that they almost canceled the event because the Park Services didn't want to destroy the trails. But runners, as the people that we are, promised that we would stay right in the middle and run right through the middle of the mud. We would not get on the edge of the trail and tear anything up. And runners were faithful to that. And we ran that race, and going across the river crossing, they had to have nets put out. The river was up over my thighs. And
you just mentioned it, and I'm just like, absolutely not.
3 miles of uphill in a half marathon of climb, at least 3 miles of climb that were steep climb. It was hot, it was muggy, and it's the favorite thing I've ever done.
Yeah, I think for me,
challenge.
Yeah, I think for me, I probably would have different categories of races. I think for me, my favorite 5K I've ever done was probably the Walton Verona 5K in high school at Big Bone. That was always fun because you went through a creek, there was obstacles, and it just added a fun element to it. As far as a marathon goes, Asheville, North Carolina, last year was my favorite marathon I've ever ran. The course was difficult, but it was also cool seeing the city of Asheville come back from the flooding and from the hurricane and all the different things. And the finish was through the destructed part of the city, through the arts district. But then the finish line and the environment afterwards was really amazing. And so I really enjoyed Asheville. And then, I've ran our Little Rooster Run, not a shameless plug here, but our Little Rooster Run was a blast. I ran 32 miles that night. Or something like that. And it was my first time running over a marathon distance. And I'm already excited to run it again this year. I'm going to run at least 50 miles this year in that race. And I just the
Chris's face laugh.
just
I don't believe it. I mean,
everybody that was running in that Little Rooster Run,
even the winner,
is pushing themselves to limits that you can't even fathom. And so that's really the cool part about that race, was seeing people push themselves to, because you're running basically a 2.1 mile loop every half hour until there's one person that wins the race, whoever runs the most.
Yeah.
And so it was monotonous, but our course is also hilly. So it's not an easy course. You're running through creeks. You're running through the night with a headlamp on. The whole entire thing's a challenge, and you're just pushing yourself to a limit. And so I pushed myself a lot that night, and I think that was really cool. So that'd kind of be the 3 different tiers of races for me.
Yeah. And then I'm kind of similar a little bit, but just a little different enough. Like, probably my favorite 5K, and it's just kind of a long-standing tradition, I guess. Josh and I and another friend of ours, we just went, my very first one, 2024, we went. It's called Freezing for a Reason, over Versailles, Indiana. We've gone back the past 3 years, and it's really cool because that 5K helps document my running journey. Like the first year, I was like, this is my first year of 5K. Awesome. The second one was the day I realized I'm injured. I'm not going to be running this marathon. So that was a really tough day. And just because it finally clicked, I'm like, I'm done running for a minute. And then the last time we went, the rest of our running group actually came along with us as well. It was the best 5K I felt like I'd ran. Not my PR, but physically and mentally, I felt like it was my best. And then my other favorite race is my only marathon I've ran, but the Air Force Marathon in 2024. I just remembered the feeling of that day, and just realizing just the journey throughout that race. We were running, I hit mile 6, and it hit me all of a sudden, I have 20 more miles to go. Oh crap. And it's just that realization, oh my gosh, this is.
And it was 94 degrees.
It was 94 degrees.
So it was not a great day to run a marathon.
Oh yeah. But I remember going all the way, I ran my best half marathon time that race, but then I hit mile 16, 17. Everyone in that race and everyone that ran that race bonked out that race. Everyone was walking. It was brutally hot. I remember just mile 21, 22, I'm just oh, please just help me get to the end. But by the time I got to the end, I'm like, this was really awesome. Like just the
You're a
feeling.
1%er.
Yeah, I was a 1%er. Like
Yeah.
it said, like 1% of the people on the planet run marathons, and I'm one of those people. And I'm just like, this is really cool. I want to do this again.
I think the marathon start and finish line are euphoric.
Yeah.
I can't really describe it to anybody. Like, and I've been on the marathon start and finish doing a half. It's not the same as being in the full, like when you're running a full marathon and there's 20,000 people at a start line with you, there's something about that is just invigorating and like you can't describe it. And so I'm looking forward to running Grandma's here in a couple of weeks and being on the start line of that race.
Grandma's is the 10th largest marathon in the United States. And this is its 50th year. So it'll be a special.
And it's sold out in like a week. So we got in there and got registered for it
just like that
first day. But like being on the start line of a marathon is a feeling I can't really describe. And then finishing it is another feeling that you can't really describe. So if you've never tried it, I was one of those people that said I would never do a marathon. And now I'm kind of addicted to the start and finish line of a marathon. Now the training process is a little bit difficult, but the start and finish of it is what makes it worth it.
If somebody wanted to join Ridge Runners, learn about your events, how might they contact you?
Yeah, so we have an Instagram page. We also have a Facebook page, Ridge Runners. You can look us up there. Contact us on Messenger on either one of those platforms. We also have a Run Sign Up page. You can find all of our races on Run Sign Up, and if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you're going to find those links to those pages as well. And then so you can join the races. You can find all the information on our social media pages, and then
you can email us at ridgerunracing@gmail.com if you have anything that you want to ask or suggest. We would certainly love to hear from you, and we're hoping to get as many people involved, whether you're a runner or not. There are ways to be involved and support our mission. We are thankful for the many sponsors that we already have. We like we mentioned, we have our title sponsor in the Bottle Rocket coming up, but we have a number of people that have been continued sponsors, both in our Little Rooster Run and also in the Bottle Rocket. We have come up with a general support level. And so if you're interested in maybe being a part of that support group and would like to partner with us, reach out to us and we'll tell you how to get involved.
If you want to be a sponsor or a partner in financially or any of those ways, get in touch with us if this is a mission that you see as beneficial. And we think it is beneficial to our community. The events themselves are beneficial, but then also the funding that we give away is beneficial to fitness and to kids and to Grant County community. And so reach out to us. We'd love to show you our support letter and help you be a part of what we're doing, whether it's running or not.
Now, do you have a medal you want to share with us?
Yeah, I do. This is our.
I think it's
this
pretty
is
cool.
our Big Rex. Our Big Rex's medal. I think we do pride ourselves on the swag that we give away at races. The stuff we all get. I just realized the other day that's what swag means. I don't know if that was just me.
Stuff we all get.
Stuff we all get. I don't know why that never registered with me, but stuff we all get.
Oh my God. You just, I went, no way. That's the sound bite.
Okay? But,
what is swag? What?
Did you not know that, or are you making fun of me?
No, I seriously did not know that. Like my
me
brain
either,
just went.
Stuff we all get. So, but we pride ourselves on, I think what makes a great race is the swag that you get. And whether it's a marathon, 5K, ultra, whatever, the swag you get. So this is our Big Rex Bottle Rocket 5K cool. medal. And then the here's what the ribbon says, Big Rex's Bottle Rocket 5K. And, this was made possible because of Rex and because of the other sponsors. And then we have a great t-shirt company that makes phenomenal t-shirts for us and material. And you get a technical shirt at each of our races, and other sponsors are putting stuff in the swag bag and all the different stuff too. So the stuff we all get at our races is it's top quality, and we want to continue that. And so just come out and run Big Rex's Bottle Rocket 5K coming up on July 4th, and stay for the after party and for the concert, and just enjoy a great day together.
Sounds like a fun way to spend Independence Day. Yeah.
Looking forward to it. And I know the boys are too. So
And fireworks. Woo.
Yeah. Yep.
How can you say no to that? Josh, Marlon, Chris, thank you so much for spending the time with us today and sharing the story behind Ridge Runners.
it's inspiring to hear how a shared passion for running has grown into something that brings people together, supports healthy lifestyles, and creates opportunities that give back to our community.
Well, thanks for having us on.
Thank you so much.
We encourage everyone listening to check out the Ridge Runners, follow their upcoming events, and consider participating in one of their races or group runs. Whether you're a seasoned runner or just getting started, there's a place for you.
We'll be sure to have a link to their contact information and find their upcoming events in the show notes so you can learn more about how to get involved.
And as always, thank you for listening to the We Are Grant County podcast.
So until next time, keep supporting local, stay connected, and continue helping us celebrate the people, places, and organizations that make Grant County special. Thanks for listening to the We Are Grant County podcast. And thank you to our sponsor, Shirt and Stuff Happens. If you're looking for embroidery, custom apparel, banners, signs, or personalized items, Debbie is a wonderful person to work with. Contact her at 859-912-9907 or on Facebook. Thank you for listening to the We Are Grant County podcast. Be sure to check out other episodes and make sure you subscribe so you're always notified when a new episode is available. Stay up to date with all things Grant County by using the We Are Grant County app. And you can find that at wearegrantcounty.com.
toadtalkmedia.com